Okay, I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible. I don't want to draw on the video too long, but I just kind of wanted to get started showing a little bit about what I do. I know a lot of people know that I handicap baseball, but I don't know that I've explained it to a lot of people, and if I have, you've probably seen the spreadsheet before. So I'm not going to get into my Major League Baseball handicapping, but I wanted to just give you guys a quick idea of what I do before I jump into the main purpose of the video, which is handicapping the College World Series, to kind of show how I think about things that I don't actually watch. So I haven't watched a single college baseball game all year, but my goal is to handicap it, and I'm entering a contest. Now, I will say it is midnight. All of the statistics I got for college baseball, I got from a great stats website, thebaseballcube.com, yesterday. So I've done a lot of work on this in the last couple of days, and I did work. I didn't call off work or anything. So it's been a busy couple of days for me. So I want to just kind of make a video and show a little bit about what I work on. So this is my Major League Baseball spreadsheet. I just want to give you guys an idea of how intense it is so you have something to compare it to, so you can see that my college baseball handicapping isn't nearly as sophisticated. So real quick, this is how I handicap baseball. I can choose the teams, whether they're facing a righty or lefty. I have all the lineups in here, and I can mess with the starters. So if Jose Barrios is going here, you'll see all these numbers are changing. This is my money line. Indians, let's say Carlos Carrasco. So all these numbers are constantly changing. If I go back, you'll see the 137 becomes 198. A lot of things are going on here. It's looking at the runs created, which is a formula that I've kind of tweaked. There's a runs created formula that I kind of tweaked myself. Adjustments based on whether or not they're righties, lefties, facing righty or lefty. Park factors, how many plate appearances they're going to get based on their batting order. Total runs created, and then runs allowed. These are the bullpens. I do keep them up to date daily, or at least I try to. Some days, of course, they do lag behind. And the cool thing about it, too, is I can change substitutions, right? So say, I don't know, say Carlos Correa got traded to the Twins tomorrow, then I can substitute him, and you'll see his name switches and all of his stats go in there. So if there's substitutions, very easy for me to react to. This over here in blue, this is I use for daily fantasy. I haven't gotten off the ground with that this year, but I do have that built into it eventually. I kind of have other stuff in the works here. I'm not betting all of this stuff right now, but a lot of these calculations down here are kind of crude and ugly. I apologize for that. But I do have some things working to bet the overs and unders. These are stats that help me with the run lines. So whether or not I want to bet plus 1.5 or minus 1.5 runs. So all that stuff's kind of work in progress. I do keep a good record. I'm way behind in this, but I'm keeping a lines record based on their scoring by innings, and then 3 different line moves. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with this yet, but I do want a record, especially for things like first innings, and then eventually live betting. I want to see, like, hey, if you're down 4 runs in the 3rd inning, are you going to come back in time? Or what are the chances if you're down 3 runs in the 3rd inning, you're going to come back based on games this year? So I know that's not a perfect science, and I have a lot more numbers that I want to work into live betting, but it just gives you an idea of why I want to start collecting these if I ever get to it. I do keep a pretty good record of betting statistics. So this is since May 6th. You can see my total bankroll. So definitely has been a really good couple of months here. I started with basically I'm up 724 through 527. And I have gotten killed the last couple of days, so it's down closer to like 580 or something right now. And I do keep a record of how I do on each team. I don't know why. I think, every month I'll grab like a jersey or a hat or something. Maybe not every month, but I do like to keep track of like what teams I'm doing well on. I hate the Cardinals. I love the Athletics, that kind of thing. And then this is whether I'm betting $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 on each game, and how I'm doing for each one, and then whether I'm betting the favorites or the underdogs. These are basically whether or not I beat the closing line or don't beat the closing line. So you want to beat the closing line more often than not, but baseball's not a huge deal. Try to move more quickly, just give you an idea of how much I do with this stuff. And this has been over several years. But this is keep track of the fantasy value of players. Guys in yellow are guys I have from the Auto New League and the prices, so I can keep track of who's doing well. This all pulls live from my data, so it updates constantly. These three crude ones are what I export out of Fangraphs that show the current statistics for hitters, starters, and relievers. So 3 different spreadsheets, and then that's how my lines update as the season goes along, as it pulls in actual stats that I update every day. This is where I keep lineups. So this is where it's pulling from. So I update these sometimes daily. So these are the bullpens. These are the hitters. Master player list. This is where I keep track of the batting orders. Factors, park factors. We keep track of that, and I do follow whether they're lefty or righties. So, you know, if you have certain parks that are good for righties, not good for lefties, that is taken into effect. Win forecast, I have this down right now, but this is where I basically pull in the starters and the bench players too, and I come up with season win totals. These are things that I want to get into later, but I haven't done it. So basically what this allows me to do is I can paste this stuff into these, and I have this luck and skill factor. So basically what this is meant to do, and I'll probably do this around like mid-season, is look at all the players and what they've done this year, and if they're good performance or bad performance, I actually break down based on various statistics whether it's more likely luck or more likely skill that has them putting up good numbers or bad numbers. So you can really separate guys who have gotten lucky with batting average of balls in play and a couple of various other stats. I don't want to give too much away. Or guys who have actually gotten better skills, as in they're taking less strikeouts, they're taking more walks, that sort of thing. And then I do that for pitchers as well, where it's looking again at batting average versus balls in play versus like swinging strike percentage, for example. So a lot of different things that it does here. Then just a couple more tabs here. This is all tabs in one spreadsheet. This is my overall player rankings for hitters. And these are runs created. So I have runs created and then total, which is runs created adjusting for defense. I haven't gotten into positional defense yet. This is a general defense factor. So if you have a good fielder who's playing in an off position, it's going to show up as a bad fielder. But defensive stats are taking relief from anyway. And then the fantasy projections are for full season fantasy totals based on DraftKings numbers. Same thing for pitchers. And we have this. Give you an idea. I pull in how deep they go into a game. This is relievers and starters all together. Starting ERA, relief ERA, fantasy points. And then I do have aging curves figured into all of those. These actual projections, I'm not going to go through it all today, but just to give you an idea, these projections actually came from analyzing minor and major league data for the past like 6 years for these players. And I actually do break in minor league data and look at how players move from AAA to major leagues, from AA to the major leagues, from single A to AA, from rookie ball to single A. How are the players going? How are they performing from one level to the next? And it kind of extrapolates and normalizes everything into strictly major league equivalencies. So I can look at a minor league player in AA and say that he's way ahead of schedule, and I can place him and actually rank him against major league talent. So it's pretty new. This is my second year doing it, but first year really getting into it. So I'm still trying to figure out how good I'm doing with these projections. Last year I did look at 5 different statistics and compare to Baseball Prospectus, and I ended up coming up with something like I was correct 47% of the time. Correct meaning closer, and they were correct 53% of the time. Or I think it was they were correct 54 and I was correct 46. And yeah, that's 5 hitting stats and 5 pitching stats. So I'm getting close. This is longer than I wanted to get on this, but I figure I don't do a lot of videos, so I might as well get in what I can. And this is, okay, so I'm almost at 10 minutes, but I'll put something in the notes that if you want to just focus on the college stuff, you can jump ahead. Haven't gotten into this yet much this year, but this is my daily fantasy spreadsheet. So I paste in the players, positions, salaries, then I pull in things from that original tab, that blue sheet, about how many runs are being scored, so I can actually adjust based on the pitcher they're facing. And then I have a solver built in, but I can't show you that right now because I haven't used it yet, and I'm not quite there yet. So basically, that's how I bet baseball. Very simple day to day. I put in the lineups. Usually I'm ahead on the lineups. I don't need to wait for them to come out, and I can kind of do tonight's games for tomorrow. I'm not doing that tonight because I'm too busy doing college baseball stuff. But normally it's just choose the team, whether they're facing a righty or lefty. Boom, boom. Type in the starting pitcher. I don't usually touch these at all unless I'm behind on my lineups. And then I get this money line, and I have the second spreadsheet here where I put in my money line here. I think this was from 2 days ago. This was from the 29th. So I put in my money line for the game here, and then I type in the actual money line that I'm getting for my sports book here for the visitors and the home team, and then it tells me if I have an edge or not. So if I have a 0 to 2% edge, I don't bet the game. That's examples of this. You can see like the Angels have a slight lean towards the Angels, but not enough for a bet. And here, Yankees and Padres, I didn't have a play at all. I think I actually got killed this day, so probably not a good example. But I am winning for the year. I'm having a pretty good month, actually. So, and then you can see like the Cubs were a huge play for me because I had the Astros as plus 144 underdogs. They were actually listed as the favorite, so that was a big play on the Cubs. Same with the Dodgers. I play a lot of big favorites. It feels really square, but if you think about it, fact of the matter is, no one's going to lay 533 in a game. So I'm not saying that 533 is correct, but I'm saying a lot of these favorites are really getting out of hand in terms of the haves and the have-nots, pitchers and bad pitchers. I don't even remember what this game was. In fact, I think this was probably a typo, but it gives you the idea of what I'm looking at and how this works. So if this was, say, minus 230 and that was my line, then I'd only bet the Dodgers a little bit. And if I had this as like minus 143, then I would actually switch and bet the Mets. So this is really great if I wanted to export this because you can type in your own line. So if you have different lines than I do, it will actually give you different bets. And then I even can take it a step further here, get rid of the run line stuff. But let's hide this here. What I'm doing now is I can actually tell you exactly what to bet. So if I wanted to risk $175 at $5 a unit, this is what I would bet. Say I want to risk $350, I can bet $10 units, and then this adjusts and tells me exactly what to bet and what to win. So a lot of really cool stuff here. It's just a lot of work, right? So I'm not doing all of this right now in terms of selling picks. Just want to give you an idea what that looks like. Okay, enough about baseball. We're going to get rid of this. Enough about the major leagues. So that's how I do the major leagues. What I'm going to do now is talk about college baseball a little bit. So, I don't want this video to go any further than 30 minutes. I'm just kidding. It's going to go a lot longer than that, actually, because I have to do my picks. I haven't actually done them yet. So, I might just run through a couple of them and then finish the video later. But chances are I'll probably just do a long video, and if you guys want to watch it, you can watch it. If not, you don't need to, I guess. Just because I have to get this done. It's 12:10, and I have a long day tomorrow. I have a big presentation tomorrow that I have to give as well. But these are due by noon, so I got to get them done. Okay. Guess time to get started then. So I have this stuff here. These are the teams that have made the College World Series playoffs. There are 64 teams. I have 63 of them. Southern University, I could not find statistics for, so those aren't there. These are not ranked by best to worst. These are ranked by best offensive teams right now, obviously. I don't bet totals. So, yes, Vanderbilt probably isn't going to score 10 runs a game, but this isn't normalized or adjusted yet, and I don't bet totals. Again, this is my runs created formula. I'd used a bunch of raw stats and came up with this number, and I pulled out walk rate, strikeout rate, and home run rate because I use them for the runs allowed. I'm not going to get too much of the nitty-gritty here, but I wanted to put them in here so you can see, like, okay, this team is really bad at striking out a lot. This team is really good at striking out very little. Florida State takes a lot of walks, whereas we go down here to like an Illinois State or a Florida, they swing a lot, right? Who hits the most home runs? Arizona State, Cal, Oklahoma State. Who hits no home runs? Central Michigan, right? So you can very easily see. Stolen base percentage. This is a weird little stat that I kind of use for myself. It's very crude. It basically takes stolen bases minus caught stealings, even though caught stealing is a lot more detrimental than just negating a stolen base. It just gives me a general idea of how much a team is stealing this base successfully, the net gain, net stolen bases, I guess you can say. And then I divide it by walks plus hits, so chances on first base. So how often are you running when you have the chance? So Florida Atlantic barely ever runs. Then you have like Vanderbilt runs a lot. You see some of these teams like Tennessee's running all over the place. Fordham, almost 1/5 of the time they're on base, they're running. So pitching, again, walks, strikeouts, home runs. I pulled in FIP here. I created my own fielding independent pitching. This was a job because I had to get the FIP constant for NCAA, so I had to go through all of the NCAA numbers and pull out the FIP for every player, and I had to calculate the FIP for every player to find the constant and get that working. I did pull in this RPI, which was, I'm really glad I found this because I didn't want to write a team in the SEC the same as I'm rating a team in, say, the MAC. So this helped me kind of separate teams that play in tougher conferences. Then I do all of that, and I have this where I can basically just say, hey, Sacramento is playing at Mississippi State. You can see here it is really favorite heavy, but if I have something better, it's like, hey, say Arizona State is playing Mississippi. You can see win percentage 33%, 63%, and I have a money line. So I am not set up right now. I take that back. I am set up right now. Oh, I didn't finish over here. So with runs allowed per game. Defense, this is neat for me. I figured that throughout the college season, a team in general is going to have enough of a sample size that I can actually look at their batting average of balls in play and figure out how good they are defensively. So red is a really bad defense, Coastal Carolina. Georgia looks like they have a pretty impeccable defense. So some interesting stuff there. Let's hide that. Okay. So here, this is just, I don't want to explain all this, but this is kind of how I methodically think through things and kind of get one number at a time, working my way down until I have runs scored, runs allowed, average them out. This is essentially the away score, and this is the home score. So I would have Mississippi winning this game somewhere between 6.5 to 5.8 runs. And I'm not betting totals or run lines or anything, probably. I'm just going to do win percentage. So Mississippi should be a minus 173 favorite in this game. I haven't looked at lines yet. I'm probably going to do that starting tomorrow. But I'm hoping I can find some lines. But yeah, so basically I'm looking at the stats of one team, the stats of the other team, and then I do a lot of combining them around and say, you see like the factor. So Arizona State hits a home runs almost twice as frequently as the average team. So the home runs allowed for Mississippi State is going to be multiplied by the home run factor, and 0.02 is going to become 0.05, right? So stuff like that. How often are they making outs? What's the FIP? What's the RPI? So I do all of these stats based on the team they're actually facing. So what that means is if you have a really good strikeout team going against a really bad strikeout team that takes a lot of strikeouts, that team is going to have a bigger edge than an equal team that, say, doesn't strike out a lot. So it actually looks at what a team is good at and what the other team is vulnerable to and works out, at least in the best way that I could do in the span of 2 days. I also have pitching in here. So if you go here, I have pitching statistics for everybody. So let's just find a good one here. Matthew Brash and Michael Jacob. So if I go back, I can say, hey, Matthew Brash is playing here. So look at the win percentage, 63 is going to go down to 50% if he's starting. And then what was the other one I was going to grab? Let's do Cody Luther. So here, Cody Luther, so now it's at 64%. A couple things I pull in here: how many games has this player started? So if I do see on Twitter that we have a certain starting pitcher and I put him in here, if they've only started 1 or 2 games, I'm probably not gonna use them. It's going to default to the average for all of their starters, which is what all of this is based on. But if I do have a good starter, like I actually picked 2 good names. They both have 14 starts. So here, I would actually want to use these guys. And basically, to keep things simple, I'm assuming that they're pitching half the game. So half the game, I use their statistics here. And half the game, I use the team statistics here. And I do that by factoring this in here and basically weighting them equally. Granted, these guys are probably going to go more than 4.5 innings. But if you think about it, their stats are already factored into this as well. So just for ease of use, I just did half and half. But I'm not doing that for the first part, which I'm not betting the actual games today. The first thing I'm going to do is go into these regional projections. So I promise this is the last spreadsheet I'm going to be showing you guys. So for today, anyway, trust me, I have a lot more different sports. So hopefully I'll do more of these videos and give you guys an idea of the stuff that I work on. So the best way to explain this. Okay. I had to find a way to figure out how to bet the regionals. Even though I haven't found lines for the regionals, I do have a poll, which I'm in over here. This is a great, I have a friend that introduced me to a guy who does a lot of polls that's actually doing a college baseball bracket. So I'm going to fill this out live as we go, and I'll show you how I'm going to do that. What I did here is I looked at every possible matchup within each regional. So there are 16 regionals, which are listed here. Each regional has 4 teams, so they're seeded 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so you see first seed, second seed, third seed. There are 6 possible matchups between those seeds, assuming that the higher number seed always is the home team. I had to do it that way. I'm pretty sure for the most part that's true, that the higher number seed, I think there might be some intricacies where like the higher number seed may not necessarily be the home team, but I didn't have time to work that out. So I basically just assumed that the higher seed is always the home team, which probably overvalue the higher seeds a little bit, but that's okay because you have to cut corners when you only have 2 days. So that's what I did. And if you're worried about how little I've slept, I actually did get a lot of sleep. I don't think I was up past 1 at all last night. And I think I'll probably be in bed by 1 or 1:30 tonight. So I'm just really, really good at Excel. I know a lot of different shortcuts to make this stuff go pretty quickly, and I think really clearly in Excel because of how much of these I've done these spreadsheets. So honestly, this is like a 2-evening thing. So first step was run all of the different teams through this factor to figure out the win percentages. Then I wrote them all down, typed them all in here. So now for each regional, I have, based on seed, the winning percentage for each of the games within the regional. Next step was the hard one. This took a lot of thinking. So I had to basically look at every possible outcome for the regional. Regionals are double elimination. So I had to think of every possible outcome for a double elimination tournament, which came down to 96 possible outcomes. So there's 96 possible ways a double elimination tournament can go. So it was very methodical. Basically, I had to look at it and say the notation is 1 beats 4, 2 beats 3, 1 beats 2. And again, these numbers recommend the numbers represent the seed of the team. So game 1 is always playing 4, right? So that's pretty easy. Game 2 is always playing 3. Again, pretty easy. Game 3 represents the winner's bracket game. So the winners of games 1 and games 2 go into game 3. Game 4 is the loser's bracket game. So the losers of games 1 and 2 go into game 4. Game 5 is where the loser of game 3 plays the winner of game 4. And of course, there are 2 possible outcomes here. Game 6 is where the winner of game 3, the winner's bracket game, plays the winner of the 1-and-1 game, which is game 5. So game 3 and game 5 winners play in game 6. And this is essentially the finals. The game 7 is the fact that once you get to the finals, the team that won the 1-and-1 game, game 5, has to beat the winner's bracket winner in game 3 twice. So where there's no game, that means that the team that won the winner's bracket, basically an undefeated team who gets first place. So that's what the no game means. Down here is assuming that you have to play at the second game and then which team wins. So different possible outcomes. Then I had to run all of these numbers and point each of these individual games in the likelihood that, so for example, how likely is it that Team 2 is going to beat Team 3 at 92%? Team 1 and Team 4, 100%. That kind of thing. I know there's a lot of 100%s here. There's not a lot of 100% winners, but that's just what my numbers came, so that's what we're going with. The no game is 100% just because I don't want it to affect the winning percentage. So then V is what is the chance that each of these 96 outcomes are going to happen. So if you add up all these 96 chances, you get exactly 100% down here. I know my screen's weird, so you can't see the bottom of my screen, so you have to take my word for it. It adds up to 100%. With the most likely outcome out of the 96 chances is basically every higher seed wins, which has a 36% chance happening, which is much higher than I expected, actually. So very interesting. Then the ones and the zeros are, did first get first place, first get second place, did first seed get third place. So 1 means they did, 0 means they didn't. Then I multiply all of these by the win percentages. Very crude, I know, but I get this nice clean little block, and this is what I'm really looking for here. So this is the Los Angeles Regional. No team names, because then I can just recycle it, which I'll show you how easy that is. So in the Los Angeles Regional, we'll do that one first. The first seed, UCLA, has an 84% chance of winning the region based on my numbers. They have a 16% chance of getting second, and essentially a 0% chance. It's never 0, but according to my numbers, it might as well be 0, of finishing 3rd or 4th. The second seed, Baylor, has a 16% chance of winning and a 79% chance of getting 2nd place, and a 5% chance of getting 3rd place. The third seed, Loyola Marymount, has no chance of winning, 5% chance at 2nd, 75% chance at 3rd, 20% chance at 4th in the region. 4th seed, Omaha, Nebraska Omaha, 0% chance to win or get 2nd, 20% chance at 3rd, 80% 4th. So just to be clear, 1st place you win the region, 2nd place you lose in the finals, 3rd place you lose in that 1-1 game, 4th place you lose in the 0-2 game. So pretty clear. And so now that's my strategy. So if you've bared with me for that, oh my gosh, so much for the 30 minutes. I'm already at 28 minutes. This is probably going to be an hour-long video now because I actually have to do work now. So let's work through this now. This is the exciting part. If you are tuning in for the picks, I promise I'll tell you where to go. I should write this down. So about 10 minutes starts college baseball, and 28 minutes-ish starts the picks. All right, here we go. Oh, I forgot the most important part. So the way that the regionals work in terms of this pool that I'm in is you get 1 point if you pick a number 1 seed that advances. You get 2 points if you pick a number 2 seed to advance. You get 3 points if you pick number 3 seed to advance. You get 4 points if you pick a 4 seed to advance. So here I basically just took the chance of winning the region multiplied by the number of points I would get. So I want to maximize this number. So very easy now, no thinking involved. I have UCLA advancing. Good. Okay, now all I need to do is move up there. So now I have the Corvallis region. I hope this works and I didn't make any stupid mistakes anywhere. So here, Oregon State has a 60% chance of winning the region. And you can see all the other stuff here. So 6% chance of winning the region. The second seed, Creighton, has an 8% chance, so I'm not going to use those. The third seed, Michigan, has a 32% chance of getting in there. So this is kind of an interesting one because I think that Oregon State has the best chance to win the region. But if you look at the points here, I get the most value out of the Michigan play here because I get 3 points if they win the region. So Michigan is going to be my pick here. It's all about value, expected value. So very easy. Now, Oklahoma City Regional. Actually, I want to go back here. I want to save this. Yeah, saving it. Okay. I did a lot of work on that, so that was the 18-click save there. Sorry about that. Okay, so now we have the Oklahoma City Regional, right? Yeah, everything matches. Okay, I'm going to make sure I know where I am. 87% chance that Texas Tech moves on here. Pretty strong candidate, #1 seed. Now, I'm going to do the Lubbock. Wait, guys, something's wrong here. I think his bracket might be in a different order, so I have to be really careful about that. Okay, I'm going to start over. "32 minutes" starts the picks. Okay, start over. Just because I mixed up some of these regionals, I don't want to get the wrong teams. So, try this again. Los Angeles, clear, UCLA. So that's correct. Next one is Corvallis. Corvallis is Michigan. So I was correct there. Michigan's going to go here. And if you did skip ahead to 32, I won't spend as much time on it, but essentially these points represent the fact that in this poll, if I pick a 1 seed to win, I get 1 point. If I pick a 2 seed to win, I get 2 points. If I pick a 3 seed to win, I get 3 points. If I pick a 4 seed, I get 0 points. So I think that Oregon State has the best chance to win this regional, but Michigan gives me the most value because I get 3 points if they advance. So that's why I'm going Michigan. Now, the next one is Oklahoma City. So I got to be careful here. So Oklahoma City Regional, the 1 seed is very strong. So the 1 seed's going, but it's not the Texas Tech one. It's this one. So Oklahoma State goes on there. Now I'm doing the Lubbock, Texas one. So Lubbock, Texas, Texas Tech is also a strong 1 seed. I really thought Dallas Baptist might have a chance here. Their numbers looked good when I looked at them, but I guess not enough to keep up with Texas Tech. So, so far we got 3 1 seeds and a 3 seed. My guess is I'm going to have a lot of 1 seeds, but it's all about maximum. It's all about maximum value. At least I'm not completely square with 1 seeds. But we'll see. Next one is Fayetteville. So Fayetteville, the 1 seed is Arkansas. So we're going to jump down here. Arkansas is the play. I hope I get some more interesting picks here. Not just a bunch of 1 seeds, but we'll see. Oxford Regional, Ole Miss. So here, again, looks like I have the 1 seed. It's not square if you're winning money, guys. Baton Rouge. Here we go. Not being square here. So LSU is the 1 seed, but it looks like Arizona State has a much better chance, not much better, but has a better chance to win this. So Arizona State is going right here. Next one is Athens. Okay, so here, this is kind of close. So Georgia is 0.8, 78% chance of winning. I could take a flyer in Florida State if I wanted to, because they have a 0.7% chance of winning. So what I'm going to do is go back here and just take a look at the two teams. So where's Georgia? See what team I like more. What team do I want to root for? Sometimes that does matter, guys. Georgia. So they're pretty even across the board. Really great defensively. A lot of strikeouts in their pitchers. Very few walks. About average hitting against Florida State. Florida State's all the way up here. They take a lot of walks. I like that. They strike out a good bit as well. They hit a lot more home runs. They strike out a lot of people too. See, probably a big reason I'm picking Georgia is because of this 243 batting average of balls in play. I'm sure the defense is good, but it can't be that good. So, you know what? I'm going to kind of go against my number here, but it's only 10 points. But like I said, I'm picking a lot of favorites. So I'm going to get crazy here. I'm going to pick Florida State to go over Georgia. So that's the second 3 seed that I'm picking to advance. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to keep the video rolling, but I just want to go get something to drink. Okay, I'm back. Gatorade. Okay, where were we? The Atlanta Regional. Okay, so here, Georgia Tech, pretty clear favorite. Chapel Hill. Definitely not the favorite here. So it looks like Tennessee is more value here to move on. So Tennessee would be North Carolina. They even have a better chance of going. Not only value play, but actually a good underdog play there. So next is Stanford. So Stanford's a pretty clear favorite. Starkville. Wow, probably the biggest favorite yet. Mississippi State, Louisville, one seed. Louisville is a pretty strong one. Greenville, okay, we got more value here. So East Carolina is the #1 seed, but we're going NC State because they have smaller chance but more value. East Carolina is not a dominant 1 seed, so we're going to go for value there. Next is West Virginia, Morgantown, so here we like Texas A&M. Wow, I thought I'd pick a lot of 1 seeds, but I'm actually getting a lot of 2 and 3 seeds in here. So Texas A&M over West Virginia. And then finally, Nashville. Okay. Wow, okay, so Vanderbilt apparently has a 100% chance of winning that regional. I'm not going to go against that. Okay, so all of the regional picks are in. Yeah, okay. So now, on to the super regionals. So for this, I'm not going to get cute here. I'm just going to go who's the better team. If it's close, I might take a shot, but I want the best teams. And so, who are the top seeds? Because the top seeds are going to get home field advantage. There's 8 of them. I think they're listed here somewhere, right? One. Okay, here we go. We're good. All right, here UCLA is the national seed. So, I mean, I knew that, but I wanted to find a list for everybody. Okay, so Michigan is going up against UCLA. UCLA is a clear winner. Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. Texas Tech would get home field. I don't know if I said this or not yet, but normally home field's 8%. I'm using 4%. No, I'm using 5% because a lot of the home field advantage is innate in the fact that you can bat last. So pretty simple there, but I'm using that. So it looks like Texas Tech has a slight edge here. So I'm going to pick them to move on. Florida State and Arizona State. Did one of these beat? Oh, he has the national seeds. Sweet. Florida State and Arizona State. So I guess I'll give Florida State. It looks like the top is always going to home field. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to do top home field advantage and just do it that way, just for the sake of time. Okay, so Florida State here, Arizona State here.
Again, some of these guys might have stud pitchers. I just don't know them yet. So it's best of 3 series. They're going to need more than one pitcher. So I'm just going to go in here and do it. Oh, I should do it. No, this is fine, I'm sure. Okay. Florida State. Wow, Florida State's even favored through them. Interesting. Big favorites, too. All right, Arkansas. Mississippi. Vanderbilt. I'm pretty sure Vanderbilt's going to be my favorite here, but just in case. Yeah, overwhelming. Louisville. Georgia Tech. Okay, so now we're back to the brackets. I don't really know how seeding works here. I'm not going to worry that much about it, I don't think. I'm just going to assume seeds in order just because I'm pushed for time. So we'll just do bracket 1, bracket 2. Bracket 1 is UCLA, Texas Tech, Florida State, Arkansas. So we'll do UCLA as the home team. I'm writing this down on paper so that I have it, just so you guys know what I'm doing over here and how I'm not just remembering stuff. So bracket 1, 63% chance. Florida State, 70%. Now this is exactly how I did each regional, guys, so I didn't have you guys on for that, but this is the exact same process that I went through for each regional. So 55% Arkansas over UCLA. So then if I take Arkansas against Texas Tech, they only have a 45% chance of winning. So Arkansas I like more than Texas Tech. Now I'm going to take the 3 seed, which is Florida State, 60%, and then back, and then I'm going to do Florida State here, 38%. So all this will make sense soon. Bear with me. Next bracket, I'm pretty sure, yeah, same thing. So Vanderbilt, Louisville, Tennessee, Mississippi State. Sorry, I got distracted temporarily. Okay, Vanderbilt, Louisville,
78%. Tennessee, 84%. Mississippi State, 55%. Number 2 seed is going to be Louisville, 30%. 3 seed is Tennessee, 57%. I'm only looking at the home team, by the way. This is how I've done it so far. Tennessee, and then Mississippi State versus Tennessee. That's the last step. 25%. Okay, now all I have to do is go in here and say this is bracket 1. $63, $70, $55, $60, $45, $38, $38, $45, $60, $55, $70, $63. Okay, so I'm not worried about the points anymore. I'm worried about who's going to win. So, the first seed, UCLA, is probably going to win. They have twice as best chance as anyone else in that bracket, so I'm not going to get cute. I'm just sticking with them. It's probably going to be boring picks, but I think I'm going to win it. If I'm going to win it, I'm going to win it in the regionals. So I don't want to screw it up in the finals. 54, 55, 57, 30, 25. Yeah, so kind of a strong candidate down here from Mississippi State, but I think at the end, Vandy's going to be too much for him. Obviously, there could be upsets. It's baseball, but UCLA and Vandy, the 2 top seeds, they're going to be ranked there too. What are we doing here? No, this is Vanderbilt at UCLA. Vanderbilt's the champion. Okay, and do I have to fill out anything else? Total runs, championship series, 2 or 3 games. So what do I have here? I have there's going to be 9 runs, 9.1. I'm going to do... So if that's 18 runs, that seems high, but if I do 18 runs divided by 3 games, that's 6 runs a game. So I'm going to do 14 runs? No, 15 runs. So if that's 5 runs a game. No, I'm going to do 17. Yeah, 17 is a good number. I think that's it, right? Okay, so while I have you guys, might as well just check out, see if there's any lines up. There wasn't any lines up last I looked in terms of the games, but honestly, it's not really worth me betting them until I know the starting pitching. And I don't really... Yeah, there's no lines up anyway. I don't know the starting pitching, so I don't know if I'm going to end up betting single games until I get more familiar with the starting pitching. So I might not even end up betting single games until the Super Regional. So I might just leave it at this for now. So all right, what was the final total here? The 30-minute video is 54 minutes. So hopefully maybe I can trim that down, but maybe I'll just post it and see if people watch it. So anyway, thank you very much. Talk to you later. Peace.